Even as the ocean is the substratum of all the waves, direct experience alone is the basis for all proofs, the direct experience of truth as it is. Now this is what's important. We're not being taught a set of ideas. We're not being taught that the truth is this, or it's that, or it's such and such. We are being directed to an experience. Or I prefer to use the word experiencing. That substratum is the experiencing intelligence, which itself becomes the experiencer, the act of experiencing, and the experience. The experiencing alone is the fact. Yet, in a state of non-understanding, this experiencing seems to have a subject, the experiencer. So what is actually going on at any particular moment is what I'd like to call the field of experiencing, or perhaps the stream of experiencing. That is all we can say that's ever going on. But then what we like to do is we like to talk about, well, who is experiencing? It is I that is experiencing. And then we say, and what am I experiencing? We say, I'm experiencing this or that. So the notion of me experiencing and what am I experiencing actually is the conceptualization of what is going on. There is only experiencing. But we create, we then take that further, and then we start breaking that up. So that's what the substratum is. It's the experiencing that's going on. I suppose this you could, if this isn't obvious, then this is where some meditation might come in useful. Just sit still and look at what's going on. I say look, I mean by that be aware of what is going on, whether it's sound or whatever. Because that is the reality. There is stuff going on. That is the substratum, the experiencing intelligence. And that's, I don't see how that can be disputed. That is, if you want to be open and look, that is it. Wisdom that is born of the spirit of inquiry dispels this non-understanding, and the undivided intelligence shines in its own light. When you're just being open to pure experiencing, to the field or stream of experiencing, and just letting it be, not thinking about it, not wondering where it comes from or anything like that, just being open to it, well then you're at one with the undivided intelligence, which shines in its own light. It doesn't need anything it doesn't need to be coming from anywhere. That is a notion that we ask ourselves. What happens to it afterwards? It's something which it simply is. In fact, we shouldn't really even ascribe existence to it. At that stage, even the spirit of inquiry becomes superfluous and dissolves itself. Even as movement is inherent in air, manifestation, as the subtle perceiving mind and as the gross objects it perceives, is inherent in this experiencing intelligence. And the perceiving mind, on account of ignorance, thinks, I am such and such an object, and thence becomes that. The object is experienced only in the subject, not elsewhere. So what's being said is that there's a natural tendency to do this parcelling up. It's what I call the cognitive process. First of all, there's experiencing, and then something intrinsic to that experiencing called the cognitive process kicks in and says, oh, it is me that is experiencing, and I am experiencing something over there called that, or something in here, a feeling or something. And what this paragraph is saying, we think we're such a person and that we're experiencing something else, but all there is experiencing. And it's saying the object is experienced only in the subject. So we split things into subject and objects, but that is just a conventional way of thinking. There is no distinction between the subject and the object. There is only the experiencing. The subject is normally what is doing the experiencing, and the object is what the subject is experiencing. But when you're just open to experiencing, the subject-object dichotomy ceases to apply. O Rama, till such time as this wisdom arises directly in you, take recourse to the knowledge transmitted by the great teachers. When you receive such knowledge from the great teachers, your behaviour will mirror theirs, and when thus you grow in their virtuous qualities, your wisdom will unfold within you. Wisdom and emulation of the noble behaviour of holy ones thrive in each other. Well, basically what this is saying, if you don't get it, well, just hang in there. But I don't know about this emulation of noble behaviour. I suppose all it's saying is just try and keep out of trouble. But it's worth persevering with this, even if you don't get it. Because at some point the penny might drop. That's certainly how it was with me.